So in this note sheet, we're looking at how we can simplify an expression using the distributive property and combining like terms. So the first thing that you need to know is what the distributive property is. And the distributive property states that A times B plus C equals A times B plus A times C. And A times B minus C equals A times B minus A times C. What this means in English, or in easier words, is that we're multiplying everything inside the parentheses by the outside number. So here's how that looks. Here we have 3 parentheses, A plus 6 parentheses. So what we're going to do is multiply A and this 6 by the outside number 3. There's this thing called a phantom 1. And the phantom 1 hides in front of variables or letters that don't have a number in front. So when we multiply this, we'll have 3 times 1A, and then we'll have 3 times 6. We know that this is a positive 6 because there's a plus sign in front of it. To do 3 times 1A, we're going to do 3 times 1, which is 3, and then keep our A. 3 times 6 is a positive 18 or plus 18. And so this is our answer for our simplified expression. Over here, we have 4 parentheses 2A minus 7. So we'll do the same thing. We'll have 4 times 2A, and then 4 times, now this is important, that minus or that subtraction sign in the front of our 7 means that that is a negative 7. So 4 times 2A is 8A. 4 times negative 7 is a negative 28. So 8A minus 28. If you look at our last example, the number in front is a negative number. So we're going to have negative 6 times 10. And this is going to be negative 6 times negative 3y. Negative 6 times 10 is negative 60. Negative 6 times negative 3 is a positive 18y. If you remember your integer rules, negative times a negative always gives you a positive answer. And so that's why our answer is negative 60 plus 18y. So what I want you to do now is to pause the video and try these on your own. So, if you did these on your own, you should have done negative 5 times 2A, negative 5 times 3, it's a positive 3. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10, so negative 10A. Negative 5 times 3 is negative 15. So negative 10A minus 15 should have been your answer. Over on this one, you got that phantom 1 hanging out. Over here, it's going to be negative 4 times 5. And then we have negative 4 times negative 1, y. Got negative 1 sign in there. Negative 4 times 5 is negative 20. Negative 4 times negative 1 is a positive 4y. So negative 20 plus 4y. Because that negative times a negative gives us a positive answer. And for the last one, again, I've got that ghost, that phantom 1 there. So I'm going to have 8 times 1a. I'm also going to have 8 times negative 3. 8 times 1 is 8, so it's going to be 8a. 8 times negative 3 is negative 24. So that's what you should have gotten for that one. So that's our distributive property. we take the number that's on the outside and we multiply everything inside the parentheses by that outside number. When you're simplifying an expression and you see these parentheses, I want you to remember, oh yeah, I have to do the distributive property. And just like with the order of operations, when we had to do the parentheses first, when you're simplifying an expression, you have to do the parentheses first as well. So in a minute here, you're going to see how there will be both two different things that you have to do to simplify an expression. But I want you to remember that the distributive property is always the one that has to happen first. So on the back, we're going to look at like terms. Like terms are kind of how the grocery store is set up. You know how they put all the apples in one section, they put all the onions in one section, they put all the different types of melon in one section. It's because they're like. And so we like to do the same thing with math. We like to take things that are similar and combine them, put them together to make our expression easier. So the thing about like terms are terms that have the same variable. If you remember from before, that means that they have the same letter. The catch, or not really a catch, but something to keep in mind is that all constants are like terms. Constants are the numbers that have no letter. So like +2, -5, +13. All of these would be like terms with each other because they don't have a letter. They have no letter with them. So what we're going to do here is we're going to circle the like terms. So I'll ask, and hopefully on your paper you can circle them, and then we'll see if you got it. So 2y -8 + 4. What are the like terms? The like terms are this 8 and this 4, because 8 and 4 do not have a letter with them. So they are both constants, they are like terms. This 2y, there's nothing else here that has y, so it doesn't have any other friends in that expression. Over here we have 3y + 8 - 2y. What are the like terms? 3y and this 2y are our like terms because they both have the same letter. They both have the letter y. Again, that 8, there's no other number in here that doesn't have a letter, so it just doesn't have any like terms with it. If we look over here, 14y + 8 - 7p, what are our like terms? If you're having trouble with this one, it's because in this example there are no like terms. Because this one has a y, this one has p. Y and p are not the same letter. And 8 doesn't have a letter at all. So there's actually nothing in here that are similar or that are like. What about over here? 3x + 5y - 8. What are the like terms? There are no like terms in here either. Because this is x, this is y. Those are different letters. And then this 8 doesn't have a letter at all. If we look over here, 2x + 5x - 9x. What are the like terms? All of them. Yeah, they all have x. So those are all like terms with each other. In this last example, what about 2y + 7 - 13? What are the like terms? This 7 and this 13, good, because both of those do not have a letter. They are constants, so they are like terms. Now that we might have a better understanding of what are like terms, we can learn how to combine them. So when we combine the like terms, we're going to be adding or subtracting. We're not multiplying. That's when we have the parentheses, but with this we just add and subtract. So this is really important. The sign in front of the term tells us whether to add or subtract. I want to make sure we also remember about that phantom 1. So when you see something like just an x, remember that there is a 1x in front. Excuse me, there is a 1 in front of the x. So let's look at these examples. Negative 3x plus x minus 7. I'm going to throw my 1 in front of there. And now if I look, I have like terms. This negative 3x and this plus 1x. Notice how when I put a box around them, I include the sign that's in front of it. That's really important because over here, when we rewrite this, okay, I have negative 3x plus 1x. If I don't write in those symbols, it's going to be a lot harder to do. So negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2, and I'm going to keep my variable, that x. So this part just became negative 2x. And then what we have here is this minus 7. Since it doesn't have any like terms with it, we just keep it the way it is. And so negative 2x minus 7 is our simplified answer for that. If we look over here at our next example, 15 minus 4x plus 8. I have this 15 and this plus 8 that are like terms because they both don't have a variable. So over here I can combine them. 15 plus 8 is 23. This negative 4x doesn't have any like terms with it. Nothing else has x. So that's just going to stay the way that it is. And then this positive 23, or this plus 23, I'm going to put on the end. We always want to start with the variable term, or the variable part of our expression. That's just good math grammar. Over here, there is a lot of terms going on. But what I don't want to happen is for people to get overwhelmed. Do one at a time. So if I look at here, oh, I have this 2y and this negative 7y. So I'm going to put that over here. Then I have this plus 12 and plus 3. I'm going to put those over here. Now I can do them separately. 2y minus 7y is negative 5y. 12 plus 13 is 15. So this would be negative 5y plus 15 when we simplify it. So again, if we do them separately, and we really want to make sure we include that symbol in front so we know whether to add or subtract them. We have a few more examples. 24 minus 18 plus 6x. 24 and this negative 18 are my like terms because they both don't have any variables. So over here I can do that. 24 minus 18. 24 minus 18 is 6. So this 6x doesn't have any friends or any like terms with it, so we just keep it the way it is, and then we add that positive 6. Again, you could have done 6 plus 6x, but because we want to start with our variable, I'm going to write my answer as 6x plus 6, so that I have good math grammar. If we have one like this, 6x minus 7 plus x, that ghost 1 is hanging out there. And so then if I look over here, 6x and this plus 1x are my like terms because they have x. And so over here, if I combine them, 6x plus 1x, well that's 7. X, I'm going to keep that variable. And then this minus or this negative 7, there's no other like terms with it. So we just keep it the way it is. 7x minus 7. And our last example over here, 2y plus 23 plus 8. This plus 23 and this plus 8 are my two like terms because they both are constants. So I can combine those. 23 plus 8 is 31. And so then that 2y doesn't have any like terms, so it stays the way it is. This is a positive 31, so plus 31. And that's how I've simplified that expression. These two examples on the bottom, I want you to pause the video and try them. They make you put both ideas, so distributive property and combining like terms, together. First, you're going to want to distribute, though, because you can't combine like terms if you have the parentheses here. They're stuck in jail until you get them out by multiplying by 2. So try these first, pause the video, and see if you get the same answers. So what you should have gotten when you distribute here, this is a positive 2. 2 times 3 is 6, that's 6y. 2 times positive 6 again is 12, positive 12 or plus 12. And then I'm just going to copy down the 4y. Now that I don't have parentheses anymore, I can look for like terms. Oh, this 4y and this plus 6y are like terms. 4 plus 6 is 10. So this is going to be 10y, and then I have that plus 12. So 10y plus 12 is what this would be as a simplified expression. Over here on the next one, I'm going to put that 1 here. But again, I have a 4 outside of these parentheses. So before I combine like terms, I need to distribute. 4 times 1m is 4m. 4 times a positive 3 is positive 12. And then I'm going to copy down that minus 9. Now when I go to look for like terms, I have this positive 12 and this minus 9 that are like terms because they're both constants. Well, 12 minus 9 is 3. So this 4m gets to stay the way it is because there's no like terms, and then I have a positive or a plus 3. And so 4m plus 3 is that expression simplified. If you need help with any of these topics, again, please come and see me. There is an activity that we did in class posted on Blackboard as well. So if you missed class, please make sure that you get that done.